Hello, and welcome to the East Africa Business Podcast. I'm Sam Floy, and I'm here on the continent to learn about the emerging business scene. I'll be interviewing startups, investors, and organisations who are all playing their part in helping the region develop and grow. And in doing this podcast, I'll be sharing with you the things that I learned along the way. Makeup is not an industry that I can profess to know much about, but after speaking with Sylvia, the founder of Paramour Cosmetics, I now feel I know a lot more. In this episode, we talk about how Western makeup is unsuitable for African women, the way that Sylvia trains her staff to help customers with their mental wellness, and how the business is looking to expand to the US after Sylvia was accepted onto a program designed by President Obama to find the next 1,000 African leaders who can make an impact. Sylvia was also the person who introduced me to Gloria, the founder of Kampala Fashion Week, and so if you're interested in more about East African beauty and fashion, be sure to give that a listen too. For now at least, I hope you enjoy the conversation between Sylvia and I, all about makeup. Okay, so I'm here with Sylvia at Paramour Cosmetics. Sylvia, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Sam.
Cool. So I was wondering, to get us started, could you tell us a bit about Paramour Cosmetics and a bit about you?
So Paramour Cosmetics is a makeup line designed to cater to the beauty needs of African women. I'm a makeup artist with 10 years experience working in the business. I used to work for celebrities, almost every celebrity in the country, and I realized there was a gap in the industry for products, good quality products. First of all, this is because we're so far away from, globalization or westernization. And we have a high rate of accumulation for Chinese products. So these products really don't suit the dark complexion, like the climate, the heat, don't work with the everyday African woman, what would need to be beautiful, to feel comfortable. So we decided, my partner and I decided to partner up and create a brand that can serve the African woman and also provide products that she can feel comfortable buying and also learn how to use and also be her own beautiful in her own way.
So when did the company start? What can you tell us the story of how it started and how it's got to how it looks today?
Paramour Cosmetics was started in 2013, mid-2013. We started with just a few products, a foundation actually, and we were testing it out on the market. We were turned down, I think, 90% of the time to find resellers, to convince people that we're sending a product that is different from the generic or the Western products or the usual Chinese products they know. And most of them are like, oh, even the resellers or retailers are like, oh no, we can't convince our clients. That would take too much money for us to get them on our side. So, but with the foundation, I had a few friends of mine who are celebrity hairstylists. They took in some of my products and sold for me. That didn't work out very well. Because people are not good with money. If there's no one there sending for you, no one will be able to talk to your customer directly the way you'd want to educate them. And then we tried Bold in Acacia Mall. The rent was a bit quite high. This is like 2 years ago. Acacia Mall is so expensive. Our product, we're testing out the market. We don't even know if it would make us that much money. And then just 10 months ago, we decided to set up our own makeup studio right here. And, ladies come to us for free, test our products, test our services. Our makeup artists get to learn more about their skills, about the community and people. So yeah, so in 10 months, we've been able to serve about 1,000 customers actually this month.
Right.
Yeah.
So just so I have this right, you sell makeup products and you also have a service where people, where you can apply the makeup for them. And I'm quite ignorant when it comes to makeup. How is your makeup different to, as you say, the Western or the Chinese type of makeup?
For example, our foundation is our signature product. Most of the generics or MAC, even the high-end products that we have on the market, like Bobbi Brown or MAC or, Maybelline and all over the world, they come in single shades. So this is very true. Globally, an African woman or a woman of dark complexion has to buy a foundation about 5 times or more to find an actual shade for her skin tone, right? So we realized that globally, actually, African women or women of dark complexion are suffering too. We decided to design a product that could suit them, the quality globally, and also suit the quality here, but at the same time affordable. So we divided our foundation into 4 shades. You have all the shades of a dark complexion. And apart from us, excuse me, apart from only that we have other problems like no African woman or dark-skinned woman has one uniform complexion. We usually have different shades, so you have to take time to blend them out. These 4 shades can help you to do whatever you need. You can use it about 8 to 10 months or even more. You can share it with somebody in your family. And yeah, we're trying to design it, like for the African woman.
And where do you sort of make it? Where is it produced? Is it produced here in Uganda, or do you bring it in from elsewhere?
It's not made in Uganda. And from our research, trust me, we really want to bring it here and provide jobs and do our own Ugandan thing. But we don't have the infrastructure. And from our research, it's going to take us about 20 years for us to actually try and have, good quality stuff built here. Also, we need professionals to actually build the product. That is also a bit expensive. So let me tell you, before I tell you where we make it from, I'll tell you the story to why. So when I was starting out, I was also looking for somebody who could manufacture the product. I tried China, is that obvious, and people are like, no, we won't buy, stuff from China. We're trying to get rid of anything on the market that is from China. I tried South Africa, that's the closest to Uganda, and the first thing they had, oh, you're from Uganda, do you have $100,000? Like, we can talk about, like, is there any other way I can pay? He's like, no, call us when you have $100,000. I think that's their way of getting rid of people with no money or wasting their time. And then I was almost giving up, and a friend of mine, a business friend of mine, he's like, actually, I can connect you to the US. The US has a very high, like women of dark complexion, it's already a market, but also they make quality, and at the same time, they were flexible enough to work with whatever we were coming with from Africa. And I think they're also excited to work with somebody from Uganda, so that's how we found a place in the US, in California, and we started from there. And it's a group of makeup artists who are also experimenting with products for the other makeup artists.
So just quickly, why did you say that you didn't want products from China? Or you said that people didn't want products from China. What's the issue there?
So right now we have an issue because in the market, all the products, most of them from China, like in town, like downtown, I forget it. Like downtown here, it's cheap products. Also, the people don't have a lot of money to spend on beauty products, so most of them are very cheap. The quality is the lowest quality, and I think we get the less of the quality from China because of our location, because of Uganda, because of, we have our own geographical and historical problems, and, so China is not depicted well here if you're sending something from China. Whether it's very good quality, people still think you're lying. You're just dressing it out to look good.
So how often do you get shipments from the US?
If we usually do 2 kinds of shipments. We do the big bulk kinds where we have all these products that you see once a year, and then we do a smaller quantity for products that either go bad or break, or the ones that go fast, that are sold out too fast. So we do about 2 shipments for that, and 1 shipment for ones that don't move too fast. Yeah.
And so when they arrive, what is the route for them to get to the customer? If you, let's say, you get a big shipment of makeup products, right, what are the various ways that they can end up in customers' hands?
So once it comes through, we usually do air. We bring them, quickly. But once they get here, we have the makeup studio. The client finds all the products here. We have every kind, and you do free testing. We have makeup artists who can do your face and just, before you buy anything, you see how you look. And then we have free deliveries. We give free deliveries in Kampala area between 30 minutes to 1 hour, because time is an issue here. So people need to feel secure and guaranteed that you make it, in a particular time. And then we have online. We're now on Kilimall. It's in Kenya as well, so trying to reach other markets, not in Uganda, but in Kenya. We've had requests from Brazil. We've had requests from Tanzania, and we've had requests from East Africa to sell to them. So we're trying to see how we can get out to them before we have to spend on setting up somewhere. So I think basically those are the main ways we use to reach the customer. We try to get to them directly, because this is beauty, this is personal, and people need to understand that we're there, not because you're buying the product, but we're here to take care of you as well, at the beginning and at the end.
Roughly, what is the breakdown between your different types of customers? So how many buy online direct? How many come into your store? What's the rough sort of breakdown?
Right. So as you know, Uganda has a very young population. About 80% of us are under the age of 35. Very young market. Some of them don't even have jobs yet. Some of them, are just low income earners. So we have, our main customer is between the age of 16 to 45. And
that's quite broad.
It's quite broad, but our most paying is the way you say the 1%. It's the above 30 that usually pays. But then the ones who are more interested and enthusiastic about beauty and want to know more, train or whatever, are under mainly the age of 25. So most of them are here for free testing and free this and that. They're always up for the free things. So we use Facebook to get out to them, mainly the young ones, and we do free lessons on Facebook. We have about 40,000 followers, and we have about 80% of it is active. We interact with them day-to-day basis. We have people who are just hired to handle social media and give beauty tips and deliveries and inquiries and all that. So we give free makeovers as well on Facebook. So we bring in all these younger ladies who can't afford, but they wish they could. So, but most of the money, because our product is sort of also a higher end product, it's mainly for the middle class, the income earners, those who are willing to spend some money at the end of the day on themselves. So we have those working in the banks, the ladies. We have even husbands buying for their ladies as gifts. We have the corporate. We work with businesses as well, business to business, advertising agencies. We have a contract with a Monitor newspaper. We're already working with NTV and Spark TV. So just to reach out to the clients. And then we work with different fashion designers too. We're sponsoring Kampala Fashion Week. So this is also our market, customer. They buy from us services and all. Yeah.
And of your customers who buy online, how do they normally find you? And when did they start buying online?
Mainly the customer that buys online is the customer that has a Visa card or debit card. It's sort of rare here. We've tried with Jumia Kenya for the past 2 years. We just got our products from them because they were not selling. And that's because not so many Ugandans use credit cards or do online shopping or even trust to do online shopping. So most of our customer online comes from Kenya mainly because Kenya, technologically is getting advanced. They have a faster mobile money system, and they have you can find people with Visa cards and they do online shopping. So we started last year with Jumia as well in June. And
so, what is Jumia?
Jumia is an online market. It's an online website for shopping, and it gets all people with products to sell. They had one here and it didn't work, but in Kenya as well, it's also it's a bit slower as well because of that. But there's another online shopping website called Kilimall. It's a new one. It's trendy. It's now the coolest thing around. So we just got on it like a week ago in Kenya. So we've moved to Kilimall to see how it's going there. But about less than 1% buys online. Yeah, but at least to just get people to come to where we are, and when they do come in. We've had, like I said earlier, like we've sold to 1,000 clients in 10 months, and we get a return of about 70%. Yeah, so.
That's great. In the first, well, since you've started, have there been any sort of surprises compared to when you sort of were thinking about setting up this business and you thought, okay, I think it's going to look like this, and then you fast forward 3 years and you're sat here? Have there been any surprises that have happened along the way?
Very many surprises, true. First of all, the products. I thought that my product that I was trying to put out in the market wasn't going to work, because even the person I had worked for 5 years refused to sell for me because she didn't believe in what I was doing. I tried to move it to places, and in my mind I thought it would work, but outside it's like everyone else was trying to prove that it wouldn't. I kept doing that. I kept sending it. I found angles like how to show people that actually you need the product and you can taste it. I gave it out for free testing and all that. But the number one surprise, it's our most profitable product. It's our fastest growing product. It's the most loved of all products we have here. We have clients who are quad fans. Like on social media, they just love the quad. That's number one surprise. The other surprise is employing people. I didn't think it would be as time consuming, as energy consuming, and at the same time you have to care. You're not only sending a product, but you have to really care about these people for them to care about your product and believe in your idea. You have to believe in them as well, and they have to know. So that's harder when it's more than 5 people,
So how many people do you hire?
I have about 7 full-time and about 5 freelance. And most of these are single women, most of them are young women who are trying to start out something, and they believed me, they stayed with me, and most of them have been with me for over a year. So it's all surprising just working with people. There's so many surprises. Like, people have real issues, and you have to, as a boss, so that your business can go ahead, so that you can grow. Yeah. The other surprise is where we are, the location. I didn't think it would be this small or big, I don't know. I just never imagined it being the size it is. I thought it would be... Okay, so this goes to the story, like with the tradition here and the customs, like makeup is a new thing. It's a new industry. We have, like, starting out, most people are like, what are you doing? You're wasting time. You're only selling makeup. You should do something with your life. And some people could ask me, like, what's your real job apart from being a makeup artist and trying to sell products to us? And I'm like, this is what I want to do with my time. So most people didn't believe that this was actually a business, and some of them still don't. So out there, we're not treated as a business sometimes, like as other professionals are. And we're trying to prove, like, we have to overcompensate and cover that extra gap to show people that we're actually trying to coexist. We're trying to be as big as any other makeup line in the world, and we're trying to conquer. So all these are surprises to me, that we managed to set up here, we managed to get our clients to come in, and we've managed to also have people return. It's surprising. Yeah.
So is it a case that most of your customers have never had makeup before and this is their first time? Or is it that they were using an alternative, and then you've convinced them that this is a better type of makeup?
That's a good question. We have those who have been using good products before, like MAC, like Maybelline, like these very famous brands. Are so hard to combat, and most of the time they're comparing us to them, but they don't understand that we're trying to also exist and do something different. So we have those, and then we have, but the biggest percentage is a Ugandan woman who wants to look good for her husband on her wedding day, who wants to be loved or liked like all those people who they say they're beautiful. And so we have, these are the ladies who have never actually worn makeup. They see it on TV, magazines, this and that, and they just want to feel beautiful and confident and be more than people think they are. And some of them use makeup to express themselves, to show that I'm more important than what you're trying to treat me as, or we have so many ladies who come in here for different reasons, but most of them have never had makeup before. Yeah.
And where does Paramour sit in terms of how expensive it is? Is it more or less expensive than, say, Maybelline, or is it something that most Ugandan women can afford, or is it only a sort of a percentage who can?
To be honest, we're not as expensive as Maybelline. We want to be the household product, but at the same time we can't put our products at a price that is so low and we're not making anything of it. So for us to compromise halfway, we try to not be too expensive, but still there's people or ladies who complain about price and they pay in installment. For example, our foundation is about $35, but we've designed it in a way that it's more than an actual foundation, the usual. So you can use it like an extra 3 months, and you can also share it with a friend and save up some of the money. And it's good quality. It's something that you will use and love and feel good about yourself. But then we have the ladies who actually have the money and they don't care about the price. And then we have ladies who say, "Why are you cheap? Because I buy MAC at $60 and you're half the price. How can I trust you that you're that?" It's just the comparisons and all this. But we've realized that we have our customers, and our customers afford us, and our customers love the price. And as long as we stay true to them, they'll still keep coming back. Yeah.
Okay. And if you were to look forward over the next 6 months to 3 years, how do you think Paramour Cosmetics will look?
Sorry, 3 years?
Yeah, the next sort of 6 months to 3 years.
6 months to 3 years. So one of the things we're struggling with here that is slowing us down, or slowing our business plan down, financial plans, is the fact that we didn't foresee the fact that we had to educate the market to get our own, like we had to create our own market here. Because most, tradition, we're trying to reconcile tradition with modernity, and that takes time. So, but in 6 months to 3 times, we want to set up another studio like this one in Jinja or Entebbe, a bit smaller. And after that, we want to move to a bigger market. And we've been planning, because we have so many requests, we're going to set up our Amazon. To sell to the United States, because I was just there 2 weeks ago, and we've had requests to sell with people. So the easiest way to get to most of them is through Amazon. But then we've got also people who want us to set up a studio and supply to them there too in Chicago.
I see.
Yeah.
So just to clarify, you're going to be selling Paramour Cosmetics through Amazon.com in the States?
Hopefully.
Oh, cool.
It's a long process. But hopefully, yes.
And would you also look to have like a studio like you do here, or do you think it's not necessary?
So I went for the Young African Leaders Initiative Fellowship in the U.S. It's something that President Obama created to get like leaders, potential or future leaders of Africa, together. So they take us to the US for 6 weeks to 10 weeks, and then they put you in an institution. I went to Northwestern University, so for business and entrepreneurship, and they teach you all these skills. They also teach you, it's like a culture experience, so you can bring it back home, compare and contrast, and see what you can change, and see how you can join the rest of the modernization and with your community and people out there. So we are back here to like help other people, like leaders, and inspire them and show them the right way. So being in the US for 6 weeks, I managed to get business contacts all over, and they take us to people who they think that you will work with in the future, or network with, business connections, networking with fellow Africans. We were 1,000 from all over the continent, divided into business and entrepreneurship, civic leadership, or public management. And in my institution, we're all 25 from all over Africa for business and entrepreneurship. But even them, I've connected with them. Some of them I'm going to use them to supply to like Cabo Verde, South Africa. She speaks Portuguese, she's a model. She's going to help me spread to Brazil and Angola. Like, we're working on that already. But then in the US, we're hoping to use Amazon. It's the quickest way to go, but we've been given other ways. The American government or some American Chamber of Commerce, they're coming up with ways to help Africans to set up businesses in the US. So as Africans, as fellow leaders, like somebody from the fellowship, they're willing to help me set up a studio instead of Amazon, and have my own website to like sell to the customer directly without going through Amazon. So it's just options. But in 3 years, either Amazon or have our own studio set up there, their own website.
Wait, that sounds like such a cool way to spend 6 weeks.
Intense.
Yeah. What were some of the best things that you learnt from your trip there?
For me, it was more of a culture experience. It's the individualism of American people. That's why people, are free to say what they want to say as people. People are free to express themselves. Like, I went to one of the biggest shops, Sephora, in the New York Times Square. There's a big makeup shop. And you can see that everyone in there is not there to learn, is in there to find the right product for her. But people come here to learn first, and then you show them what might be the right product. And it takes a while for them to learn what the right product is. The other thing I saw was the money consumption, like the demand for products. People have money to spend. You can have a credit card and spend money. Like, if you set up a business, it's easy to have clients as long as they believe in you. Yet here in Africa or East Africa, there's much more than just people believing in you. Most of them have to expect. They expect a few things out of you for them to show they believe in your business. Like, they want free services, they want free this and that to help you, But but in the US, there's like money to spend. People have money to spend, and they respect businesses. They understand if somebody's trying to really come up from scratch, or underdogs, or this and that, which is different for me here. And then just the way of life is different. But then coming back here, I'm appreciating our fresh air, because it's the summer. You go from your air-conditioned car to your air-conditioned room to your air-conditioned office, and everything is air-conditioned. And we have cool air here everywhere, like the breeze, and and there's no borders, like you saw. You used your border first time?
Okay. So I'm interested, did you think that these differences between your time in the States and your time here, do you think they're like fundamental differences, or do you think in time the sort of African market will move more towards the American mindset?
Good question. We have a very young population Africa-wide, and I think Africa is the way to go. Africa is the next America, is the next Europe, is the next everything. We're willing to work more than the usual just to get our businesses out there. We are the ones running the economy as young as we are, We're the ones buying, we have the purchasing power, and as long as we keep wanting to work as much as we want to spend, I think we're going to get faster there, better than where America is. And yeah, why not? Africa is the way to go. Yeah.
Are there any other sort of any other young businesses that your business interacts with that are based here in Uganda?
Right. So mine is a beauty business, so I get to work with young photographers who are up and coming, young hairstylists, young people designers who design bridal gowns or design like fashion designers. What's interesting is the fact that as millennials, we're coming up with all these businesses that most people actually right now, like traditionally people think if you're a doctor or a lawyer, you're the one who makes money, you're the one who will take care of people, your family will be better off. But the thing is, right now it's time for people like me, people like who are trying to be creative with whatever resources you have to just feed other people and help them feed other people too, or teach people so they can teach other people. These such businesses that still people don't respect, like hairstyling business or fashion designing, I think is the way to go, and we're looking to work with more people who are willing to come out and change, who are trying to do change and go ahead with it as well.
And if in another world you weren't running Paramour Cosmetics, where else do you see there being opportunity in the Ugandan market?
I'm sort of nerdy, like mental illness, or I tell people if I wasn't a makeup artist, I would be a psychologist here, because I think that's where it's a kind of business that people haven't tapped into here, but it's also something that somebody can do to help another person. We have ladies who come here and as small as this place is, they just don't want to leave. They just want to talk to us about their problems, and they're willing to pay money for a lipstick just to talk to you about something intimate, So I think this is a market where mental, how do you call it, like mental wellness, mental health.
Yeah.
I think it's a business opportunity. But apart from that, the other business opportunity I see around is something that involves working with young people, because whether we like it or not, it's a resource that we have already available, and they're willing, and some of them are eager and desperate to learn something or do something with themselves. I'm sure I'd come up with something. Because sometimes, people come in here, you put up a post for a job, and you get so many good people, and you can't take all of them, but anything that will take the youth on or give them something to use their power or their passion. And
So is that how you hired your employees? Did they come to the shop and then you get them that way, or how did you hire them?
So since in the beginning it was so expensive for me to hire somebody who has spent money on her education, like a university education, and most of the time they're very high maintenance, like payments, they're overpriced, they're overrated. I tried a few and it didn't work out very well, and because also they didn't respect the job they were working with, it was a way to another job. They were using it to meet other people or just in case, or I partnered with a youth center in Muyanga, not far from here. It's they have a single mothers program where single mothers come with their babies and they play somewhere as they learn cooking or doing makeup or selling a product or counting. So I partnered with Fontes and asked them to do workshops with them every other 6 to 8 months. And most of my ladies are from there. I have Rachel, she's one of my best artists. I've had her for 2 years now. I got her from there. She wasn't doing anything with herself. She had taught primary education like a few years ago, and she just wanted to do something. So I brought her on, and she's still here, and she loves the job. So we still go back to do workshops. So whoever comes in, you're a makeup artist, we put you back out there to train more people. So when they come back here, she's your assistant. Your assistant. We give assistance to different people. We also put ads out there on Facebook, in the newspaper. We still get more people. And we have a training period. We have a process of how we vet and get interested people, because it's not a simple profession. We stand on our feet for hours. You need somebody with perseverance, discipline, and you send them to somebody's home and you hope they would, represent you very well. So we have a 3 months probation period. We pay you. We ask you your price. We pay you. And we see if those 3 months you can give us what we expect out of you. And if we can't get that, you gave us what we both sat down and agreed, and if you can't work the way you think you work, it's okay after 3 months, even if we've been paying you. Yeah, then after that, we sit down. If you win, we do a contract with you, and then we say this is how much we're offering you. And usually it's more than what people ask for. Sometimes I hire one of my makeup artists, and she said, I'm like, so how much do you think you're worth or you want to work for? And she said, I don't know. I've never heard of a makeup artist job before, or a makeup artist getting paid.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what are the key characteristics of a good makeup artist? How do you train someone to be a really good makeup artist?
You have to be able to change a life. You have to be able to inspire someone. It's not just about pasting and letting somebody walk out of the door after you get their money. One of the core things we look at is personality, and it's also an issue here, like identity. Like with the women we work with, and even the girls I hire, we take so much time on treating their identity and showing them because sometimes they ask me, how should I be confident if I'm doing somebody's makeup? Why should I feel that I've done a good job on them because they're people? And I'm like, no, you have to know that you're a human being too, and what you want is what she wants. So if you don't think that she should look as good, then you don't think you should look as good. So we sort of work on the core, like self-values and like self-empowerment. We also work on how do I treat the other person, apart from me trying to touch their face, because you're in their face, it's so close. And so how do I behave? How do I breathe? How do I feel comfortable in that small space? So we work on cleanness, hygiene, and what tone of voice do you use when you're that close to somebody, or when somebody tells you about their problem, how do you respond? So because through talking to women, all we do here is talk to women. Makeup does the smallest percentage of making money. We just talk to them, and once they get the product they think they've got or they deserve, they just buy more and more. So when we're training, it's all about how do you connect with the other person, and how do they feel like they trust you, but at the same time, how do you feel like you're a human being sharing a space with another human being and trying to help them be or feel better. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll just have a couple more questions. When you sort of think about how the market might look in 3 years' time, do you think there are going to be more companies like Paramour appearing, or do you think that you'll kind of be the one dominant one that wins?
I hope we set a very good example that there's people who want to be like us, or even more, because it will also inspire us to be better or grow or be more than what we think we are. We still think we're growing, and we've invested a lot of time and a lot of effort in this. So if it's not about somebody just coming up here and setting up, it's actually a lot of groundwork, which groundwork I also did being just a makeup artist, doing it on my own and testing out products and clients and talking to people. If somebody has that patience, and I think they'll be able to set up here, and the patience to work with the young people here, because we work differently here in Uganda. We have different work ethics, and you have to instill those in people. You have to be patient with them. It's beyond just the daily, income that comes out of the business or comes in or goes to your employees or whatever. It's more than moving people from a place of hopelessness to them seeing they can see a future with themselves, being with you, or they can see that they can, touch another person's life with what they're doing with their job, or they're feeding their families better, they're getting a good pay, a comfortable pay too. And there's so much that goes into this. So I hope that there's somebody who can do that before they, it's not about money, it's not about size or whatever. If somebody's really trying to do that, then that would be nice. So, but in 3 years, I think we're going to be here. I don't think there's going to be any other Paramour, because we've had to fight to be here, to prove to people that we deserve the same market share as they do, or even the customers. So I think we still have people who are afraid of what we're doing, or people who don't understand what we do. It's a big percentage, or people who just don't believe in it. So that's why I say that 3 years might be a short time for somebody else to, but we'll see, Maybe there might be a Western company that might come and set up, and because of the young population. But they also have to understand that and be patient, that they're young, they're beautiful, but it takes a while for them to get their money together to buy from you or trust you or keep coming back to you. So, and that what it makes the business if somebody keeps coming back, right?
And I just realised I've forgotten, I haven't even asked, what does Paramour mean? What's the idea behind the name?
It has some people, when they dig too deep, they find weird meanings about it, or love, or this and that. But basically and simply, it just means true love. We've, tried to convince so many people. We've tried to be ourselves and true to ourselves, to prove and want people to really love us for truly who we are. So our product is, from the beginning, the name started out as, in the past, we had to, ladies who love makeup, we've had ladies who are like, oh, I don't want my husband to think I'm spending so much money on this. And we could go to people's houses and she's like, no, you have to run, don't give me a receipt, because my husband might find the receipt and finds out how much I'm spending on myself. And because of these were my customers, they had the money, but they didn't want to truly express their love for beauty. This is where the name came from, true love. It takes more than money, or more than just something that looks good, to find your true love. And we hope that we're finding our true love in wherever we go, or with whoever uses our product. They fall in love with us, we fall in love with them. Yeah.
And how can people listening at home, how can they follow the journey of Paramour? You say you're on Facebook. Are there any other ways that people can get in touch or see what you're up to?
We have a website, www.paramourcosmetics.com. We have a Facebook page. We have a very popular page that Facebook is Paramour Cosmetics Limited, as simple as that. We have an Instagram at Paramour Cosmetics, and Twitter is Paramour Beauty. Yeah.
Cool. So I'll add those to the show notes at the end of the episode. But other than that, Sylvia, thanks so much. I really enjoyed that.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you for bearing with all this and setting up, and thanks for finding us. We were really surprised when you called and said, "Oh, your people are talking about you," and we're like, "Oh wow." You should like us too on Facebook. I think you.
Don't worry, you're gonna get 40,001. Don't worry.
But thank you.
No problem.
Yeah.
Cool. Before we head, just a quick moment to say thank you for listening. You can see the show notes for this episode by heading to samfloy.com/podcast. That's samfloy.com/podcast. This show is still relatively new, and so I really appreciate you making it through to the end. What would be great is, if you're enjoying it, to tell a couple of your friends about it too, in case they'd also be interested in giving it a listen. Also, if you have any questions, comments or feedback, please feel free to email me, podcast@samfloy.com, and I'd be happy to chat. In any case, have a great week and speak to you soon.